they found like a full box full of my old writing, and there are notebooks in there that are lyrics from songs that I wrote in middle school.
I might go to the beach.
You and I both know we have the same desire to leave our homes, but you and I won't ski until our mother is a buried dream. So
Have we started?
Yeah, this will be okay. Have you looked at the Facebook stuff yet? I just
Yeah.
pulled that up.
I looked at it because I was like, but as soon as I posted it, I was like, this is either gonna work or it's gonna be like real trolly.
Yeah. Anyway, so I am Nick Jackson. I'm with John Galm. Thanks for having me over.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome to my home.
I think maybe we'll find a couple useful things through Facebook.
I almost thought like it might be fun to just like speed around it.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end.
Yeah, where it's just like just boom, 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 boom. Because when I was looking at them, a lot of there were a lot that I was like, I can answer this in like one sentence,
Sure.
or less. Like I think the first question was, did you fuck Patrick? No.
It's a quick one.
We just partied and did a lot of dumb shit.
I just got this new recorder and it can interface with a computer.
Okay.
So my ultimate goal, I think, is to be able to do something like this. If we don't need a FaceTime like video.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, but that seems intense. But to somehow take calls.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
So
Yeah, I listened to, or I used to, when I used to drive more, like when I lived in Allentown or just that area in general, it's like not public transportation friendly. Mm-hmm. So I drove everywhere and I got really into listening to sports talk radio. I'm not the biggest sports fan, but it's just like something about like people talking and like, but yeah, it's constantly like people call in. And sometimes it's like the call's really funny. Sometimes the call, like, I feel so bad for like the guys on the other end because it's such a like weird, awful call. Like it's just such a, I don't know.
it can be a real,
human interaction is interesting.
Yeah, but it can be a real intimate snapshot of a stranger. Where
Yes.
even though they only ask one question, you can almost imagine what they look like and what their life is like. And
Absolutely.
how many times they've been divorced. And like, you know what I mean? It's like a real thing. So I'm considering or thinking about moving to New York. And I don't think we talked about you. Okay, I'm looking at your face right now. I don't think we talked about you moving to New York last time.
I never lived in New York.
I thought you moved there briefly.
No. Oh, no. I tried. I wanted to during Slow Warm Death. But it just never worked out. You know, it wasn't right.
Take it back. So why did you want to? What was the first?
Well, I mean,
Because you've been here forever, basically, right? You've lived in Pennsylvania your whole life.
yes. Yeah, except the 6 months in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, no, I mean, when I was doing Slow Warm Death, so that would have been like 2012, like 2013, mostly 2013. I was working in Bethlehem, which is in the Lehigh Valley, which is where I'm from, and driving to New York once or twice a week, every week. So
For the band.
Okay. Because the rest of the guys live there, and the majority of our shows were there. And it's like a 2-hour drive without traffic. And New York, it's like getting into it's like a fucking impenetrable fortress.
Yeah.
So it's you add like an easy half hour of traffic, and that's like a good day. You know?
Sure.
There were some days where it's like, you know, I'm just pulling off the Jersey Turnpike where it's still probably like 25 miles into Brooklyn, and it's like standstill. It's just like, cool. I'm going to be here for the next 2.5 hours. And then you have to pee, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that point I was like, I should move to New York. It makes sense. I hate where I live. I have a band here. I have friends here. But I couldn't find. I mean, just like not being there, it's really hard to like move somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't have anywhere to stay. I don't have a job. I don't have a prospect for a job. If I apply for jobs and there's like an interview, I need to go. I have to like take off of work and go to the city for the interview, or like, you know, there's a lot that goes into it.
And New York, people can't put you up. they already have somebody living on their sofa. It's like, we don't have a second sofa for you to live in. It's
Yeah,
like the
pretty
hardest
much.
place to do that with.
Yeah, I actually asked some friends. I was like, if I need to stay to like figure it out, could I stay with you guys? And thinking they would be like, sure. And the kid was just like, I'd give you 2 weeks. And it's like, oh, okay. Like that's like, which, it could work, but I feel like New York's so big that like that's such a small amount of time to get your feet under you enough to, because I mean, yeah, New York is interesting, man.
But it sounds like you didn't really care about being there. It's just like that specific scenario. You're like, well, I guess it just makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't like kind of what I'm thinking of.
No, it wasn't like I don't love New York. I think I like being there. Like I like visiting. I really don't like Brooklyn. So here's the thing. Okay. So when Snowing started playing when Street Smart started playing gigs, so like probably like 2006, John Geeting lived in New York. He lived in Brooklyn, and it was still like, it was cool, but it was also still sort of on its way up.
I remember. I mean, we're the same age, so I was in DC, so that would have been the first time I went there.
Yeah. Like I remember walking around Williamsburg when it was just like it was still like the cool town, or like the cool part of New York, and down by the water front.
I'm going to Instagram your cat too. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like walking down by the water was like, there was no like lush park or anything. It was like there were like warehouses everywhere. It was kind of like dumpy, and it was totally cool. It was like, I thought it was great. That's so funny. Listeners, Jordy, the house cat, is currently crawling all over Nick. She's trying to find a place to lay down. It's pretty adorable. She's great. But yeah, so
it was cooler then.
It was cooler then.
Do you feel like I'm old man now?
A little bit, but like, so I would go back, all the time for, the Slow Arm Death gigs, and just like, I still have friends that live there. And it's just over time, it's gone from feeling like a place, like a city where people live, into like Disneyland, or like,
sure,
it feels fake, and it feels, and like, I mean, like Williamsburg now is just such a weird place, and I just really can't connect with it at all, like emotionally.
Just doesn't it? I think about it just because it just feels like more opportunity is there, and where I'm at. I mean, I'm in an extreme example because San Diego is. I mean, it's 3,000 miles away.
You can also just push.
No, I love it.
Just making sure.
But yeah, so I live 3,000 miles away, and there's so little there, and
Sure.
like people don't come there, and it's just, it feels culturally very irrelevant. So someplace like that feels very enticing, especially when I'm working on projects like this, where I'm like, oh, maybe there's just more stuff there.
Well, what about LA?
Yeah, I
mean, I've only been to LA twice, so I don't have like a very good thing about it. Also, I mean, the other thing about New York is like it's so fucking expensive. Like, it is.
Every place is though. Well, maybe not Philly. I don't know.
No, I mean Philly's getting there because a lot of people can't afford New York anymore, so they're moving here.
Sure. But the situations like this, or like my friend Brian live in, I don't see those. Like, just this type of building doesn't exist in New York.
No, this does not exist in New York. I mean, we have this is a 3-story, 5-bedroom house. Like in New York, this would be like $1 million.
Yeah. So you ended up. That was at the end of your trying to move to New York story. Is like you got there.
Yeah, I mean, well, pretty much. I forget what happened exactly, but I think I was just sort of like, you know what it was? I was in weighing my options. Well, actually, so while all this was going on, I had a job in Bethlehem that I had been temping for 14 months. We talked about this on the last one. But I'd been temping for 14 months, and then they didn't end up hiring me. So after I lost that job, I was kind of like, well, now I'm kind of free.
That's the perfect time to move.
Like, I can kind of go anywhere.
AKA, you got fired?
No. Well, it was the weirdest situation.
They would have let you keep temping?
I was like the administrative assistant for the seminary that I worked at.
Yeah.
And seminaries are places where people go to become pastors. So they're there were like church services every day at noon, and like all the staff would go except me. Like, so, but I loved working there and I loved the people that I met there. They were all like, it was way more liberal than I thought any Christians could be. So like, these were folks that were like, they were legit, like, pastors in their churches, like Lutheran and Presbyterian and shit like that, believed in gay rights and believed in climate change and believed like, it wasn't like God-fearing, Bible-thumping stuff. So it was like, really, I really felt comfortable there as a non-Christian. And they ended up hiring a Christian.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense. Like, I wasn't upset. It was, the worst part was like, I had to interview for the job that I'd been doing for months. And then when I didn't get it, I was like, all right, well, I was like heartbroken. And then they asked if I would stay on to train my replacement. And I was like,
bummer.
Fuck no. Like, there's no, like, no.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I had just, the month before, I got employee of the month from my temp agency. They like came to I had no idea. They like came to the office and they were like, "Hey, John." I was like, "Hi, what are you guys doing here?" And they were like, they had like balloons and like a banner. And I had to they took my picture and gave me like a gift basket. It was like the weirdest shit in the world. So it was like, yeah, I got employee of the month and then pretty much fired the next month. But yeah, so in getting fired, I was like, all right,
that's the time to do it. Yeah,
I can move. And
when you get dumped or when you get fired, those are the times you move.
And Portland was just like, even though I had slow arm death and I had like things going on in New York, I'd much rather wanted to try Portland. So I was like, all right, time to go to Portland.
And that's what broke up the band.
Yeah, I mean, it was the band was, I had written the songs and like kind of stumbled upon friends that helped me play them. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of just like, all right.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's weird. I never felt like, there was no like weird, like when a band breaks up and there's like a lot of emotions behind it. And sometimes you feel like it's like, there's like a loss in your life.
Sure.
That didn't feel like that with Slow Arm Death. I was kind of like, all right. It just sort of like had run its course, I think, in my head. And I was just like ready to not do it.
Yeah. Well, it depends what the band is, because sometimes your band is like your social world too.
True.
And if they lived somewhere else, then it sounds like they probably never were.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely like a disconnect in that way for sure.
Yeah.
And the three guys that were in the band at the end of it, Dave, Phil, and Nick, are all in a band together now.
Oh, what's that called? I haven't heard that.
They're called White Pisces.
Okay.
They're great.
Cool.
They've got like 3 or 4 records now. They're super grungy 90s. Yeah, grungy 90s. They're really good. Dave, who played drums in Street Smart Cyclist, that band. He sings and plays drums in the band.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. So, and I think he writes most of the songs. They're really good.
So is your official advice to me, don't do it?
Man, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. I
like reaching out to people, telling them how, or asking them how I should live my life, because I have no idea.
No, I know. I feel you there. I really love, it's funny. I really love upstate New York and like up the Hudson. And
that feels like where I would be now, though, or as far as like disconnected.
For sure. Yeah. No. This is just me thinking. Like in my head, like a dream place to live would be like up in like a small, cool town,
Sure.
like in the woods.
Do you think you'll leave here soon?
Soon, no. I've been looking more at possibly moving out of this house and into. I would love to like. So I mean, listeners won't be able to see, but like you see my neighborhood and like the kind of area I live in. It's like an urban area, you know. It's like, it's very
North Philly.
Yeah, it's like North Philly. It's very, and I feel like here for some reason it feels like really industrial, even though it's not.
Yeah.
Downridge Avenue, they're doing a lot of building now, but before they were doing all the building, it was basically like just like abandoned,
Yeah.
like businesses, you know. So it was like very like
It's very. I mean, North Philly is like it looks kind of, apocalyptic.
Yeah.
I can't say the word.
Apocalyptic. Yeah.
Apocalyptic.
Well, this is where like specifically this area, like only like maybe 10 blocks up the not even 10 blocks up the road, like 4 or 5 blocks up the road is where like David Lynch lived.
Oh, really?
When he was going to school here, and that like pretty much where he got the inspiration for Eraserhead.
Okay,
and like
sure,
the surroundings of Eraserhead, which is just
like nothingness.
just like a strange burnt out husk of a city.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. We've been driving since I've been staying in North Philly too. It's just there's whole blocks that are just nothing.
Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah. So that makes you like feel bummed out, you think, just being in that environment?
The thing is, I've been going back home more to the Lehigh Valley, and I can't see myself moving back there just based off of lack of things to do and like,
Sure.
But it's just like I miss the quiet and I miss the trees. You know, I miss like sort of like the serenity of like a small town.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been thinking more about that because at this point, like I've got a great job that I do well at and I like. So I don't want to, I'd hate to lose that, but I would love to like. I've basically been Googling like Philadelphia suburbs with trees and like trying to figure out like where could I live, still work in Philly, still basically like have a life in Philly, but like have more nature and like just like haven't found the right one yet.
Sure.
And I think it'll probably be like a year or two before I even like make any sort of drastic decisions like that. But it's something I've been thinking about for sure.
Do you worry though about being disconnected from? I use the word opportunity. I don't know if that's the great word, but just like culture sounds so judgmental too.
Yeah.
Just music and artists and life like that.
Not really, because I feel like I've got my even now that I live here, it's so easy to just not do anything. Like it's so easy to not go to gigs. It's so easy to just like go to work, go home.
Yeah.
At this point, I've been living here in this house for over 2 years, and I've got like the restaurants I go to in the neighborhood. I've got the bar down the street that that we had the interview at last time.
Yeah.
I've got like my
your spots.
I've got my spots. I know where I get coffee in the morning. It's like so I'm very comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's just like anywhere else. It's like getting out of my comfort zone sometimes. And also it's funny now because like a lot of my friends and I are getting older. So like the scene is like different for us. It's
Well, we're the same age. We're old.
We're old.
Yeah. Compared to punk rock.
Yeah.
Punk rock is for high schoolers, basically.
Yeah, dude. So I've been listening to NoFX a lot lately.
Okay.
I've probably listened to NoFX more in the last month than I have since I was 13. And it's so strange. Like part of it's because like, I don't even know. Like, I think I just was like, what does NoFX sound like? And I put them on and was just like enamored by it. Like, it was just like, what the fuck is this?
In a good or bad way?
In a kind of a good way. But like a lot of the lyrics are like, it's like, wow, like grown men are singing this. This is like straight out of high school,
Because they knew their audience.
I guess so.
I don't know NoFX. I just jumped.
they're
I was such
wild.
a pretentious asshole kid that like got into really serious.
Well, yeah, you're also
music.
from DC, so it's like
No, it's just I don't
Okay.
know what it is.
All right,
I think that
all
was
right.
just my personality trying to like be like
no, I get that.
cool.
I was
before I knew what it was.
Yeah, I was into like extreme sports and shit. So like I like
Sure,
rode
okay.
BMX.
Yeah.
And
The videos. That's how so many people get into
dude,
stuff.
yeah, and they're like I feel like the Punkorama, like Punkorama 3 and like you know like the like Rancid and like NoFX were like the soundtracks of like me riding bikes
For sure.
in my friends like in the alley behind my friend's house growing up, like building jumps and doing tricks and like just NoFX blaring. you
Yeah,
know?
but what does getting older mean to you then? Like, does that mean it's just like, or how do you imagine getting older looks like for
Yeah,
you?
I honestly
You don't know? I mean, when you
don't
talk
give it-
about moving to the suburbs, is that like you're going to start wearing polo shirts and
Hell no.
getting a grill? And I mean,
Well, okay. I mean, I wish I had a grill now. Grills are fucking
or
rad.
sure. Yeah, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it almost.
No. I mean, I'm already like, man, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think. I think I just grew up in like, I just grew up in a small town and lived there pretty much my entire adult life, and it's just more comfortable for me.
Yeah.
But I do like I know if I lived back at home, I would go crazy because there's not, you're right, there's not like the culture. And you know, just I like being, you know, being here, it's like there, even just like walking down the street and seeing like all types of people,
Yeah.
I find very comforting. I like that very much.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't get that like where I'm from.
It's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like all, I don't know. So anyway, I would have to move, if like even moving to like the suburbs, it would be like I would have to be in like either like a cool ass suburb or I'd have to be like I could see myself moving like a couple miles outside of Philadelphia and still being in Philadelphia every day for work, and then
Okay, yeah.
primarily having my functions of life in Philadelphia, you know?
Yeah.
I just, maybe it might be nice to like walk out my front door and there to be like green grass and trees and like a yard and shit. Like
Yeah.
that might be nice too.
Yeah. Not just like a empty alleyway.
I used to, back at home, I would run. I like jogging. I'm a jogger, and I would run at night a lot, like 9:00. And you know, after the day is done, I would go for a jog, and I can't do that here. You know, I
for
would.
sure.
I would not feel great doing it
yeah.
here. Even in the winter when like the sun goes down at 5:00, I feel like super strange when I go out for my run, even though like, you know, it's dark. No, it's just because it's dark. I mean, that's really it. People are like leaving work still because it's, you know, it's just 5:00
Yeah.
and the streets are crowded. But I'm still like, once I get close to here, it's like, gotta
Yeah.
like pay more attention.
Yeah, I guess I think about it because, so I'm freaking out about getting older a little bit, and I'm trying.
How old are you again?
I just turned 30.
Okay, I turned 31 next Friday,
Okay. Well, I'll turn 31 in March
4th.
of 18.
March 5th.
That's the same. I mean, it's close.
No,
within
we're
a
totally
year.
the
Yeah.
same. I was just mostly letting you know when my
Okay.
birthday is. It's
Coming up?
It's Friday.
Okay. Happy. What's
Thank
the opposite of belated?
I don't know.
I guess people say early. Well, I guess one of my possible answers to like getting older, not doing. I worry about, you know, is my life just going to be going to work and coming home and being too tired to do anything? It's like, I worry that if I put myself in a situation that's even farther and more difficult, then I'll just do it even less. And I'll get, you know, like one of my answers is like, well, maybe if I move someplace where everything is closer, maybe getting older won't feel so foreign and scary and look like my parents.
I think that makes sense. I could see that. I think there's also a thing. I mean, I know my life even if I do those things that I said I was like, even if I do end up moving out of Philly into like a close by suburb, my life will look nothing like my parents because
You're not them.
I'm not them.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I'm in the process of writing a record right now. I'm like still very much engaged in like the creation of art. So I feel very comfortable in like there's a part of me that's like, I'm old and this sucks. And there's another part of me that's like, yeah, but I'm like still like in my head, I'm still very active and I'm still making things that I enjoy. And I'm still like, very curious about like creation and like, you know, that's great.
Yeah. You're not afraid of losing that?
Not anymore.
Okay.
Well, not right now. I feel like I go through periods of that for sure. And as I was getting older, like between like 25 and like 30, if we were having this conversation, or I'm going to say 25 and like 29, I would be like inconsolable right now. Like, cause I was just like, I'm too old. It's over. I've lost it. And even now, like sometimes I feel like at this point, like I'm a little worried that I'm never going to go on tour again because I just don't know how to, like, I don't know how I'd make that work in 2017.
With your responsibilities.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. With the responsibilities I have and like the bills I have to pay and like things like that. But that doesn't mean like, that's not stopping me from like continuing to create and continuing to like wander. And
sure. Yeah. What do you think changed then? Like from a couple years ago to now where you feel more confident in it or something?
Oh, I'm just generally like way less depressed. I mean,
yeah. Maybe that's what it is for me.
It's the whole, I mean, you know, I'm still doing really well mentally post 5 months of intense therapy. So, and I'm still on meds every day. You know, I'm still like, and that's honestly been like a giant change in my life. I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like let me go back a little bit. I was at my mom's cat sitting this past weekend, and she's cleaning out her house because she's going to be moving in the next year, I think. Yeah, about a year. And they found like a full box full of my old writing, and there are notebooks in there that are lyrics from songs that I wrote in middle school. Like, it is really embarrassing shit, and like fucking funny to read.
It doesn't like trigger you. That stuff for me, I can't even open it. I have to just throw it away.
It was just so goofy. Oh my God. It was just like, just reading back on some of like, and like the funny thing is like, I would turn the page and it's like, here's, you know, the lyrics to like the like original lyric sheet to like Kiss Kitty on the Lips, like Melissa, and then I was like, wow, I can't believe I wrote that in this, like, you know, you turn the next page and it's just like the worst song you've ever read, just like complete dog shit. I'm so glad I started using a computer to write lyrics. Like, because just reading back,
there's no trace,
and I can just get rid of shit. Like as like, I don't feel the like weird attachment to it.
Yeah.
Because even this, I was reading, I'm like, I can't throw these away. Like, I need to just hang on to them for now. But okay. So reading back on a lot of the old writings, because then there were like journal entries and shit, I was so depressed. Like, and reading back on it, it's like scary. Like, and it was making me think, like, I really wish I would have gotten help sooner, because I feel now like the last 2 years of my life are really the first 2 years of like actually being a human. Everything else was kind of like this weird haze of depression for my entire fucking life. Yeah. So it's like really, it's strange almost, like how like now it's like time goes by and I'm very comfortable in it. And like, I'm not like, I feel like time moved way slower before because every day was a fucking like battle to get through. Now it's like 2 weeks go by and I'll be like, oh yeah, okay. like,
yeah,
I don't know. So I'm feeling, I don't know. I forget what the question initially was, but it feels very weird. I'm feeling very much like I'm still I don't feel 30. Like I feel like a kid.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm like still discovering how to be a human being.
I can relate in so much that I feel slightly like when I felt more like that in my early 20s or whatever, it felt like life was not full of possibilities.
Yeah.
And my life now feels a little bit more like there are possibilities.
Yeah.
And in that way, I think that's kind of like feeling like a kid. I also begin to think, like, do you ever connect like those feelings of depression and like the real like fire to be making art or writing or whatever? Like sometimes when I say like I'm afraid of stopping, on the flip, sometimes I think maybe it's a good thing to stop because it's just so. Sometimes I think like my art making is this weird like worshiping of depression, and I go into this dark place, and it's like let's bask in feeling sad and like
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like
I do.
Making can kind of feel like that sometimes in a weird way.
Yeah. I think so. I've definitely tried consciously before to stop. I've tried I've been like, that's it, I'm done.
Writing, you mean? Or,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then, a little bit of time will go by and I'll end up like picking up a guitar. And,
Yeah, you get bored.
I'll just find a song and it's like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like I kind of do it subconscious. It's like an automatic response at this point. Like, it was cool to open that middle school notebook and be like, wow, I've been fucking writing songs since I was like 12 years old. Like it's something. And I remember like sitting on my back porch at my parents' house, like struggling to write the first songs I ever wrote. And it just being like this crazy chore. And now it's just like this thing that like kind of like comes to me. Like, it's like I can hear the music in my head and it's just like, oh, that sounds good. Let's make that a thing. It's so neat. But yeah, so I don't think
Sure.
Right now,
Yeah.
I don't think I can stop. I do worry about it. Like, there's the whole like, fucking like Ernest Hemingway thought like he couldn't write anymore, so he killed himself. Like, I think about that sometimes. It's like, is that ever going to be me? Am I ever going to like run out of stuff? And then I'm going to be like, well, fuck. Now what do? I hope not. But I also think, yeah,
You used a word curious, and I think that's what it is. It's like it's not about your age; it's about like maintaining whatever that is.
Yeah.
And like curious people that are searching for stuff. Like those are the interesting people that you want to listen to.
100%. Yeah.
And if you're doing that, then you're like doing something that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And some people hit that at 23, and they're just like,
Sure.
"Oh, this is just my life now. I figured it all out."
Yeah.
And they stop becoming interesting.
Yeah.
And other older people can do it forever.
Yeah, for sure. There were definitely, I mean, I used to write music, especially post Snowing, not including Slow Worm Death, because I had all that stuff already written before Snowing broke up. But like, there was definitely a thing like where I was trying to write music that I thought people would like, because I really wanted people to like me. I really wanted that like affirmation.
What did you imagine?
What do you mean?
Like, what did people like? Did you think you had a good pulse of what people would like?
No.
Like, what was it? What did
No,
you
it's
think
just
they
like,
wanted?
More
More of what they liked of you before?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
more of what they liked of me before, and what I like would see them liking. I would be like, okay, I take elements of that, and I can take,
Got
and I'll
it.
make this thing that they'll like. And I'm really, and that was also part of being so depressed. I mean, and dealing with that, because it was all just, like, love me, please love me. I need you to love me. I can't love myself. So it's different and cooler now, because it's like I'm more focused on like doing the interesting thing in my head.
What does writing this next Bahdeavn record look like?
It's taken many it's taken many different shapes and forms. In fact, it's funny how like I had a teacher in college talk about writing, and basically he said like every time you write something, you always fall back on the same mistakes. Like you're always going to fall on these same mistakes, and it's through the editing process that you get rid of those mistakes. So you're always, when you start something, you're always going to make the same mistakes. And I was like, huh, interesting. And I feel, it may not be true, but I feel like that when I'm writing music, because like there was definitely a point where I was writing this new Bad Heaven record, and I was like, in my head, I was like, this needs to be good. Like this needs to be so good that the people are like freaked out. Like, and I was like, I had all these like big convoluted ideas. And then eventually I just like, I get burnt out on like trying so hard to like impress some like strange, like
faceless like audience.
Yeah,
I know
thank you.
what
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's actually perfect. Yeah. And I get sick of it, and I this time specifically I was like, I'm done. Like I'm not doing any of those fucking songs. I'm throwing them all in the trash. And I did that, and after that things slowly started to creep out of me again, where it was like, oh, okay, like this feels better. Like this is what I should be doing. And now it's like I've got fucking 15 songs now. Like I thought like, oh, I'm not going to be able to write. I can't believe I'm just going to get rid of like, 10 songs that I've been working on. And then here's 15 more. Like,
yeah, what about
and
like,
I was able then to like take one, like I was able to take parts of
Yeah.
ones that I broke up, and it's like,
you see what's worth saving?
absolutely.
Yeah, when you're less precious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
But I mean, like, just logistically, what does writing look like? Is it acoustic guitar demos that eventually you're going to bring to a band? Or are you one of those people that have, like, Bandcamp multi-tracks going with, like, a drum machine that you've already mapped things out?
It goes in different ways. I mean, what generally it's looked like, I'd say lately, is, like, I'll just do a demo. A lot, like I have a lot of phone demos, like a lot of in like just like the voice memo function on your phone. I've got like just like a minute of like playing a riff or like humming a melody or something, and then I kind of just let it gestate in my head for a while. Like I'll just think about it over and over and over, and like listen to it. Basically, like you just hear the song, you
Sure.
just like trying to figure out, and then I'll lately I've been taking, like we have drums downstairs, and like, I have a laptop and all that. So I'll just like take everything and like, just like one mic above the drums, record some drums, and then throw everything on top of it just to like hear it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're kind of mapping whole bits like that.
Absolutely.
So what are you going to do? People are fucking sick of this. I should need to stop bringing it up. I've been trying to work on like taking like solo stuff and trying to bring it to a band and record it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I worked with like such a smart, awesome dude who helped me do it, but it still wasn't, even I had the best possible people who were so helpful, but it wasn't my vision, which was very frustrating. Like how do you make sure that things that are only you right now, that they're eventually going to not just be you? And like,
yeah, that's hard. I know what you mean though. I think
because even if people are really good, it has to be what's difficult to describe to anybody except you. It's that unless it's exactly what you hear in your head, it's going to be disappointing.
Sure.
Or at least maybe that's just me. I don't know.
No.
People feel that way.
The thing is, it's almost like, you're never going to get all the way there. You're not. It's impossible. So like the best thing to do is like, or at least the thing that I found that's really helpful is like, you have to find the right people. Just because like someone's like super talented doesn't mean they're right for your thing, like I've already had people that like I've done like Bad Heaven stuff with that have been like the live band that I'm like, they are incredible musicians, but it's just not right for Bad Heaven,
Yeah, they're not on the same page.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Yeah.
So I think it's like finding the right people, and then two things. One, not being afraid to tell them what to do. And then two, not being afraid to let your idea change. There was definitely one specifically on the first Bad Heaven record. There is a drum part in the second song that Sean did that was different than what I heard in my head, and I fucking hated it. And I was like so pissed about it when we did it, but I didn't want to. I was like, it was like a little concession. It was just like, because it's like 30 seconds in a song, so I was just like, I'm just gonna let it go. Like that was one thing that I was like, I can let it go. And now when it comes on, I'm like, that's a great part.
It's
like
perfect.
Like he really made a good call with that. So it's like sometimes it's like knowing when you're like comfortable. There's
It's
other
so
parts,
hard though.
because there's other parts then where it's like, no, you absolutely must do this because it's like imperative to the narrative
idea
in your head.
Yeah. It just feels like telling somebody, I don't like your face or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
it
like,
feels so personal.
I know, but it's something you just gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's like, if it's your baby,
Nobody's going to care about it like you do.
exactly.
Yeah. It's really good advice.
And you know, the great thing about working with Sean on the first record, and you know, I will work with him again as much as I can because he's just a treasure. I'm talking about Sean Halak. He plays drums in Roswell Kid. Do you know that band?
Not super well.
They sound like Weezer. They're like a big power pop band.
Okay,
They're
cool.
cool.
I'm not the best about knowing about lots of stuff.
I know. They're Sean's around. So anyway, and they tour a lot. So they're a band that would definitely come play San Diego because they play everywhere.
You'd be surprised.
I know. But I would there were things that I would suggest to him. Like we'd be playing through a track and then he'd be playing something one way and I'd be like I would have it in my head that is a different way, and I would be like, play it like this. And on more than one occasion he was like, yeah, that's totally right. You're that's the way it should go. And it's like, cool. Like my what I thought.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
I'm not crazy. Yeah. And it's also like, you know, he wanted to hear that. Like he was like open to the ideas in my head. And then
a lot of people want to if it's your thing, they want to make you happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel that way sometimes as the leader or whatever.
Well, I think it's hard to be the leader if I mean, I guess if you're like an egomaniac, it's probably real easy, but like I have a hard time telling people what to do for sure.
Yeah.
And forget. But like, I mean, you gotta, or you're gonna go crazy. We had a show earlier in this month, and we were practicing before it. The current like lineup that I have playing live, and I showed them a new song. I was like, let's play this one, and they were definitely like, everyone came up with cool shit that sounded great, and then there were little things that like some things that didn't sound good, and I was like, you just got to be like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get really fed up in your head, you know.
Do you like it better than being in a band? That's like a little bit more of a democracy.
I kind of miss that too. Like I wish I had both. I like doing my own stuff. It feels cool. And especially like as I get better at being a musician and recording, it's like I can do more and more of it on my own. But I do miss the idea of like 4 people in a room, someone's got a riff, you work on it together. I do miss that. I haven't had that in so long.
That's harder when you're older, I think.
For sure.
The time.
Yeah, I don't know. Because for me, it's like making a new record. It's like an art project. Like I honestly don't. At this point, I don't see it any differently as like if I was making a big painting.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like I was making a movie, or like So for me, it's just like I'm just making art, you know. So I see it less as like this like I don't know, strenuous musical process, and more of this like trial and error, like throw shit at the wall, see it sticks kind of thing.
When do you think you're going to do it? Like, get the band together and record and
Well-
like, actually, try to...
Time again, that's the thing, because a lot of the instruments I'll do myself. Really the only thing I need people to do outside of like instruments I straight up can't play, like
Drums.
cello, or like I need drums. I can't do the drums.
Will you go somewhere, or will you record in a house? Or
Still trying to figure that out. And I think some songs might sound better here. Some songs might sound better in like a studio setting. But really what it is, like right now, Sean is on tour. My other drummer, Melissa, is super busy and will soon be going on tour as well. So really it's just like, waiting for everyone to be around to like take the time to, learn the songs, get them down, and then, figure out how we're going to record them. It's just like, I'm just waiting,
Yeah. Will you lay down a click, play your guitar parts, then have drums, or will you record drums? And I know this is super inside baseball, but it's just, I don't know. I love it.
I think, no, I mean, I think the way that we did it last time was we had a setup where I was playing guitar along with Sean recording the drums, and he could like, it was like scratch. He could hear it in his headphones. So we would just go through a song, and that was it. I don't think I could do. I thought about actually doing some like starting the recording process, like starting to do guitars and just like to a click. But I think that's such a weird way to do it.
I know.
You really got to play off the drums, I feel. Oh, wait, someone's at our front door.
Okay, yeah.
Let me
take a pause.
No.
Hey, look, we were complaining about the long cord. Now it's perfect.
Yeah, now it's perfect. This is
I can
going to
hear you.
Hopefully, I don't know who this is. Oh, hey. Thanks, man. Hey, Dave. You got a package.
Just in time for Nick's birthday.
Oh, what is it?
Stranger Things soundtrack.
Oh, sick.
At least I think so, right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I keep thinking with the long cables, it would be, I don't know what the idea would be, but some kind of thing where you're talking to somebody and you're in two completely different situations.
I could probably go like...
Yeah, you can be in the kitchen. You can be outside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically talking on the phone, just not...
Yeah.
Maybe that's stupid. I know what you mean. It's to be able to play your guitar parts to a click with feeling and imagining where drum fills would be.
That's the thing.
It's so fucking hard.
Yeah. You want the drums... At least I want the drums to like have some life to them, And I feel like... So... My very first band, like my very first real band, was a pop punk band when I was in high school. We were called Audio Recording Club, and we were very, very much a pop punk band. But we ended up recording this record, and it was like such a shit situation. But we were like, all right, we're gonna do this record, and we're gonna do it to a click because that's what professional bands do, and we never played to a click ever. So our drummer really, I mean, I'm sure he did a great job, but like our engineer was just like, it's not in time. It's not in time. So he had us go back and
I can imagine what that guy looks like exactly.
So we ended up recording the whole record without drums. And then as Kevin practiced to a click to then come in and record, and he still couldn't nail it, so we ended up digitally editing every drum hit to fit into the click. And it just was like, when you listen to it, I'm sure like people that don't know maybe don't realize, but like it is like this like soulless shit.
It begins
thing.
to not sound like music.
Yeah, it's just like, and it was definitely like too much work for what it was,
Yeah.
But yeah, it also made me realize like, it doesn't it doesn't need to be perfect. It really doesn't. Because
Or-
when it's perfect, it doesn't sound like humans.
Certain things need to be perfect.
Sure.
You have to focus and like prioritize the elements of it that
Yeah.
need to be perfect. You know.
Yeah, but I think, feel is always going to be way more important
Yes,
to me
yeah,
than technique.
Yeah.
I don't know. I recently started for like 2 days. I tried to listen to Steely Dan. Do you know anything about Steely Dan?
Yeah, but not. I haven't listened to records. Yeah.
Their whole thing is like that. They're like
Metronomic.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like perfectionists and
Yeah.
like it's just like
It sounds dumb.
it's just not for me.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like they're feeling anything. It feels like they're thinking a lot. It doesn't feel like they're feeling.
Do you think about the release and what it's going to look like and what
Yeah,
what that's all?
already,
Yeah.
I already have the like cover in my head, and I have the name of the record already. I think.
What's up with having changed the name?
Oh fuck. So, okay. Good question. Fuck. Yeah. So it's still Bad Heaven. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future. Facebook won't let me change it to anything anymore. So I might have to just make a new Facebook at some point. But when I decided to use the name, I came up with it like I was sitting around with friends and like someone said Bad Heaven, and we thought it was funny, and I was like, I like that. Kept it in my head for years. And then when I was like, oh, I could use Bad Heaven as the name of this thing I'm doing, I Googled it to make sure there wasn't another Bad Heaven, and there was, but they were an 80s metal band that released 2 demos in like 85 and 86 respectively. 9 songs total. And I was like, I think I'm okay. Like, I think I'm pretty good 30 years later to use the name Bad Heaven. I don't think anyone's going to mind. And sure enough, I got a Facebook message from some random guy that was just like, there was already a Bad Heaven. They were around since the 80s. You got to stop using it. I'm like, okay. And I just blocked him. And I was like, fuck this. And then sure enough, I got an email from the members of Bad Heaven that were just like, we own the copyright to the name. Stop using it or we'll sue you. And I was like, all right.
Do you think they really would? Who are these guys?
They're like, 50-year-old dudes from Texas. They're from Houston. And they were just, and I was like, all right, yeah,
Texans are very litigious.
yeah. And I was like, I'll stop. And they were like, thanks. And I guess, it just so happened that the year I decided to use the name Bad Heaven was the year that they decided to release like a retrospective LP of their 2 demos.
Okay.
So-
I guess that kind of makes sense then. They were
Yeah.
probably researching it or something.
I just think it's so fucking lame. Like,
Yeah, I hate copyright. I don't believe in it.
there's a fucking band called Twin Peaks, and like, I think that's the lamest name in the world for a band. But clearly David Lynch hasn't gone after them yet, because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like, there can be 2 things named the same thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
If
If you're awesome, then it won't matter.
yeah, and
Nobody
also
won't
it's
think
like
of that.
no one was going to mistake Bad Heaven, the speed metal band, for Bad Heaven, the indie pop band from Philadelphia. Like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't going to happen.
It's a much better band name, I think, in your context than if it was a death metal band anyway.
Yeah. Well, they're like thrashy. They kind of sound like Venom or like Metallica, like early Metallica.
Is it good? Have you heard their songs?
It's not bad. They're it's pretty sick. Like, I'm definitely like, it's weird because I'm like, part of me is like, I totally get it. Like,
Especially if you're older. And I mean, maybe this is putting something on them that they're not, but it's like you were in a band when you were in like 19. Now
Yeah.
you're 50. That was the only band you did.
Sure.
You were like, that's intimate and beloved for you.
But
And
I don't know. But like 20 years from now, if there's a band called Snowing,
it'll be funny.
I won't give a shit.
It'll be funny.
If anything, it'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like,
Let's, before we forget, let's look at your Facebook posts.
Oh, sure.
You reached out to the... For one, I'm very impressed that the Snowing Facebook page is still so active.
Yeah.
There's like 100 comments after, a few hours.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that too. I feel like we do just enough on the Facebook page to like keep people involved.
Why do you still do it, you think?
I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I also, it's like, I actually don't know.
People love it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a good reason that people want it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we started doing it more once we announced that we were going to be doing some shows, last year or so. But I don't know. I don't know. And here's the funny thing is like, I'm not the only one that does it. So it's like
more people have the password.
everyone in the band has access to the thing. So like everyone's posted shit. It's just like, sometimes it's just funny to like, just like poke the bear,
Yeah.
like,
Would you guys ever write and do more material?
I actually was thinking about that the other day and I don't think we could because I just don't think it would, so just because we were a band, we have like a built-in audience. Like people know Snowing, people know what Snowing sounds like. And I don't think 30-year-old Snowings could write music that these people would be satisfied with hearing, Like we could definitely...
Who knows? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the four of us can get in a room and definitely write music. And it would probably be pretty good because
Everybody's continued to play and stuff.
yeah, and everyone's super talented. But I just don't think it would be the type of thing that people like it would let people down. People would be like, "Oh, like that's not the Snowing I remember."
You'd be surprised, I think.
I don't know, man.
We were talking about the Cap and Jazz reunion right before we started, and I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say like I was getting teary-eyed at the beginning of the set.
Sure, but like think about it. Like if Cap and Jazz put out a record next year, the last time they made music together was like actually made Cap and Jazz music.
Yeah, a lot, the 20, 30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be the same. And chances are, even if it was like, I don't know. It's just, I worry that I've seen too many bands reunite and make a record and
It's
like,
shitty.
and people just kind of go like, eh.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if the record's great, like, it's just like, people don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying you have to, or I'm not even saying whatever. I just,
No. I mean, I think it'd especially be funny in context because like the music we were working on right before we broke up was like really different from what we had done before.
That always makes bands break up.
I know. Well, I think we were already breaking up. And
It
then
signifies that you're getting tired of it.
That's
Otherwise, you wouldn't be changing.
that's exactly it.
yeah.
But
It's like if you're in a relationship and you're like, maybe we should have an open relationship, or
Yeah.
maybe we should like let's we've had a set of rules. Maybe it's time for like something to be completely new. It's like
Yeah.
that's probably not a good.
yeah, so we had, yeah, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we had like we wrote 3 or 4 songs that were like way different. So I think people would have been pissed then. I can't imagine now. We actually toyed around with the idea of recording and releasing the songs that we wrote now, that we had written, back in 2011 before we broke up. And like, if people would have hated them then, I can't even imagine how they'd feel now. They'd be like apoplectic. like,
I never know. I have a hard time. You were talking about trying to write music for people, and I was looking at you kind of dumbfounded because I just don't get what people like. and
No,
what they
yeah,
don't
I mean-
like. It's like so. I don't know. I just don't understand.
yeah, I think the thing with Snowing though is like it's got its own identity, and because we broke up,
Yeah.
it's like it's sealed in time. It's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
It's like a look into the
Yeah.
something that no longer exists.
Yeah.
So it would be really hard to write something that I think people would be okay with.
Yeah.
I would rather write stuff and put it out under like a different name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been curious though. I've definitely wondered. Part of the problem with that is though, you know, our drummers both live in different parts of the country. JR lives in San Francisco and Bean's about to move to Michigan. So it's like, all right, well, probably not going to get together anytime soon.
Well, the Facebook. Do you want? I think some are probably not worth going.
I think just
There's like 100 comments. So yeah.
just like,
You choose. I'll let you go through.
no, I'm saying let's just speed round it. Like
Yeah.
just like no back and forth. Just ask the question and I will quickly answer.
Somebody just wrote why ?
Okay, yeah, that one's probably. Actually, that was one of the first comments I saw, and I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
What was the biggest difference you felt between the band playing together and the reunion shows?
We liked each other during the reunion shows. We had a lot more fun.
Would you ever consider touring outside of the U.S.?
I would love that. I was actually thinking about that today, about how I would love to tour Japan just because I really want to go to a New Japan pro wrestling event. So I was like, how can I get to Japan? If Snowing plays in Japan, then I can go see New Japan.
This person mentions Mexico. I mean, if you play SoCal, getting down to Mexico is not...
Well, actually, yeah, JR is, his band Super Unison is currently...
That's what this person mentioned.
Yeah, they're currently on tour in Mexico, which I think is super cool.
Do you have to get visas and stuff, or can a lower, like, if you're not like playing huge things, can you get by?
You know, I didn't ask him. I have no idea. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Sheets or Wawa?
Wawa.
Will Bahdeavn get physical releases?
Yeah. Well, there's already a tape that Top Shelf put out. LP's coming out this fall. Square of Op is putting that out. We're doing 200, so get on that.
The first record.
Yeah.
You're not talking. You don't know what.
No, and then
Are you ready to say or what's going to happen in the new one? Or
no, I got to record it.
Yeah.
I got to record it, and then theoretically, I'll try and show it to some labels before I just like get frustrated and throw it on Bandcamp. But you know, we'll see.
This is kind of what we talked about before. Does writing sad, angry music help cope with said feelings?
No.
Yeah. You think it will, but it really just like glorifies it and like lets you just like masturbate in it, kind of.
Yep.
You know.
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
What advice would you have for an emo band from Allentown, PA? I think that's a legit. I'm only asking questions I think people legitimately, seriously asked.
Just I don't know, be good, play a lot, maybe don't, I don't know, maybe get out, play outside of Allentown as much as you possibly can.
I think be good is a really...
Be good is like the main thing. So yeah, just write the best possible songs you can, practice writing the best possible songs you can.
Is ringworm contagious?
I don't know, I'm not a doctor.
Have you had ringworm?
Once.
Really? Recently?
No, I was I was a
Okay.
kid.
Yeah, like when you're like digging around and stuff. Do you wish you had recorded more during your time as a band?
Snowing? Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming that's what they're talking
That's
about.
right, because it's on the Snowing Facebook. No. Well, maybe just those last songs, but otherwise we didn't have other music. We made it all.
The greatest wrestling commentator.
Jim Ross. Well, yeah, Jim Ross.
Why do people like snowing so much?
I have no fucking idea. I think we just I don't know actually. I find my vocals to be irritating. So
What distortion pedals were used on the Slow Warm Death album?
Big Muffs and Rats.
Favorite tunings?
I don't know, standard.
Is the new Bahdeavn stuff mostly in standard?
Yeah, I kind of don't know how to play in other tunings. I've been learning recently, but I'm not an aficionado in that.
Really?
Really.
Yeah.
Nate and Ross were. They could play in different tunings.
Yeah. You have to learn. It's like a new instrument.
It's like a new instrument, yeah. And all the Snowing songs were in I mean, my bass was in standard, but like they had different shit going on.
Yeah. Do you think I forgot something important?
Is that all the questions you're going to ask off the Facebook?
I think that was most of them. A lot of people are trolling you. I don't even get it.
I'm going to go through.
Okay.
Because
I like your. Okay, maybe I'm too. This says a lot about me that I'm like. There's a lot of questions.
What's a John?
Which Monopoly game piece is the best?
The thimble, which I guess they got rid of. I don't know. I haven't played Monopoly in forever. Kickflip or heel flip? Definitely a kickflip. I could never heel flip. So you're in McDonald's, right? And the Hamburglar walks in. You beat him up or let him do his dirty work? Yo, that question's sick. Clearly, you let him do whatever he wants. This one's funny. Why didn't you play Methuselah Rookie card at the last show? I was going to propose to my girlfriend during it. Now I'm single. Oh, I hope that's true. That's insane. We legitimately forgot to play it. There's no reason we didn't play it other than we completely forgot. Which is... we didn't even have it on the set list. We just completely forgot. Before we settled on snowing, we went by New Hunger and South American and rickets, which I did not know was a disease.
What were you naming it after?
I don't know. I thought it was a cool word, and then they were like, "That's a debilitating disease." I'm like, "Oh, I had no
That's
idea."
kind of badass, though. Your cat won't pose now for a photograph.
Oh,
it was all over me, and now it's.
Well, that's what she does.
They know when they're getting photographed. I think I really believe that about cats.
My opinion of Kevin Owens' current booking is it sucks because the WWE doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with anyone right now. WWE booking is fucking terrible. I really like wrestling. Best Mick Foley persona is... I like the Mankind persona toward the end of his career where it was just like you were rooting for Mick Foley. You weren't rooting for like any specific character. It was just like he would come out and he'd be Mankind, but he was just like an everyman that everyone loved. Also, original Mankind because he was fucking terrifying, ripping out his hair and shit.
Dude, thank you for having me over. I think this is great.
No problem, Nick.
Maybe we'll do it next time I'm in Philly. I'll hit you up.
I was going to say, it was nice to see you again.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.